Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So till now we have discovered what are strings in Java, what are the methods we have predefined in string class like equals, index of, caret, and length, and many such methods we have discussed in our previous session. And also we know that what is SCP, how SCP is useful in saving the memory, and what is the difference or different ways of declaring a string. Means the one is without using the new keyword and the other is using the new keyword, and what is the difference between them. So today I'll just introduce you with some methods, or I can say that the variation of few methods like split and index of that we have already covered in our previous session, but in this session I'll just show you a small variation of split method and the index of method in which that might be useful for you in future. So let's get started with this, and we'll also learn what is the use of compare to method, because this might get confusing, like if we have means what is the difference between compare to and equals. So I will just discuss compare to method as well, and after that we'll start with string builder and string buffer. So I hope it's clear till now, and if you have any doubts you can ask me. So let me declare a string hello, and now if I say system.out.println, right, as dot index of, I'll say index of EL. Now what will be the output for this? Can you guess the output? Let me run this. Yes. Can you see the output? The output is EL because the EL is present at the first index. Am I right? Now let me just show you a variation of this index of. Alright. So now if I just, can you see the suggestions over here? Can you see? Returns the index within the string for the first occurrence of the specified substring starting at the specified index. I know it is not at all clear. So now let me change the string. Okay, I'm just saying that hello. Now if I say index of L, index of double L, what will be the output? The output will be 2 because L and L is present at the second position and the other LL is present at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, correct? Am I right? So now what if you don't want this, don't want the first occurrence, and you don't even want the last occurrence as well, you have the last index of operator as well, but what if there are n number of hellos, but you just want to skip the first hello or just the first occurrence of E double L? So now what you can do is, so now if I use index of like this, and I give a index over here, so let's say I'm providing the index as 3 or let's say 4, so it will start looking for this string in this string as from this specified values or from this specified index. So where is fourth index? 0 1 2 3 and 4. So fourth index is from this O, so it will search occurrence of LL from this O to this O. So it will skip this much or this part of the string up to 0 to 3. So this part of the string will be excluded, so it won't check LL over here. So now can you guess the output for this? Let me run this after having 4 over here. Can you see the output? It comes out to be 7, because if I skip the first 3 0 1 2 3, so if I am skipping this and I am checking my double L from over here, so now it is present over here. So the actual index of this LL is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So is it correct? We get the output as 7. So I hope it is clear to everyone that how index of can be used, and this is just a slight variation. Now let me show you the variation of split as well. So now I'm having spaces over here in between hello. You know how to split between spaces, correct? Right? Yes. So if I say the split method will return us array, correct? And I'm saying that as dot split based on the regular expression or based on the spaces. So the delimiter over here is space. So now what will be the length if I say system.out.println arr.length? What will be the length of arr? It will be 5, correct? Because we have 1 2 3 4 5 parts, because after using the split using based on the spaces, so it will the first part is this, the second part, the third part, the fourth part, and last is the fifth part, correct? So spaces are not included because we are partitioning based on the spaces. So if I try to print my array, do not worry, I am just using a shortcut. We'll discuss about this arrays dot other methods, but not now. For now you can just right, it is not happening. All right, it is not of that type. Yes, I got it. No problem. If I just print the first one, system.out.println, we'll discuss about the arrays class, do not worry, in the collection. So java.util, do not worry about that. So I'm just doing 0. What will be at the 0th position? Hello. And do we have any spaces? No. So spaces are not included over here, and we have already discussed this. So now what if you don't want to split or don't want 5 parts of it? Your condition is all right, you have to separate it based on the spaces, but you should have only 3 parts at the max. Okay, so 3 part at most, correct? So when you want at most 3 part, that's it. Let it be 500 spaces between these words, but I want only 3 parts. So now if I use over here that hey, I just want 3 parts, then what will be the length of arr? It will be 3, because only 3 parts are going into that. So now let me print that the first part, and now can you guess the output? See, the output comes out to be, let me run this. Yes, so the output is like this. I know it is not understandable that what the first part is having, correct? So I'm just including the arrow symbol over here. Now let me run this. Yes, so can you see the output? The output says that, let's just minimize this. Okay. Over here the output is the first part is having hello, second part is having hello, but the third part is having 3 hellos, because I said that there should be at most 3 parts only. It can be 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, but not more than 3 parts, because I have given the limit, the maximum limit. So what happens over here, the first part is like this, the second part is like this, and now the rest of this thing goes into the third part. So now if I, instead of 3, if I have 4, then what will happen? The first part, the second part, the third part, and the fourth part, correct? So this is how you can limit the partitions. So I hope it's clear to all of you. Now let us learn compare to method as well. So let me change this back to hello. So now as dot compare. Yes. So can you see over here? Just a second. Instead of this, what I'll do is I'll just say hello. Can you see it gives 0? So it will return 0 if s content. It is also checking the content as well. Okay, so if the content of s is equals to this, so it will return 0. Now what if it is mellow? Can you see it is -5? So the see what happens over here, it returns the value based on the lexologically. Over here, see, we can see it over here. It compares two string lexicographically, correct? So it returns us the value based on the lexicographically forms. So over here m comes after h, correct? So m is greater than h, which means hello is less than mellow. So if it is like this, if you are comparing a lower string with the higher string, it will return negative values, and if I make it as AELLO, then we'll get a positive value because hello is greater than AELLO. So over here we'll get the positive values. So let me try this. Yes, so can you see we have the positive output over here. So this is how compare to works. Yes, so over here this is how we compare two strings using the compare to methods. So don't get surprised if you get negative, positive or 0 outputs using this. Now we have discussed that how lexicographically it works. So now what if it is like hello and HEMMO, then to which string is greater? The later one, correct? So this string is smaller than this, so definitely we'll get the output as negative. So you can try this out and you can just practice some scenarios and just change some strings and try to print the outputs and then compare whether it is working fine or not, and also try to debug the output, like why it is coming out to be positive, negative or same, because of the lexicographical orders. So if you don't know what is lexicographical orders, it is the order that the word will be in the dictionary. So if I include hello and AELLO in the dictionary, which of them will occur first? Definitely AELLO, because it checks the alphabets. So A comes before H, which means A has to be put before this. So which means this hello is greater than AELLO, correct? Yes. So if I am having hello and hello, then H, all right, but over here it is small, this is small and this is greater, which means this will be placed first because this is smaller than this. So over here we'll get the negative output and over here we'll get the positive output. And if I am having two strings same, then we'll have the equals to output or 0 output, sorry, right? And now if you don't want to see over here, if I'm having this, can you see what happens over here? It is small letter h, it is capital letter H. Now your question will be why I am getting negative, because you might not have any idea about like when this H and this H will occur in dictionary. So when you don't have any ideas like this, because in dictionary if you are having any words, they are always started with capital letter or the small letter, either one of them, correct? So now to just be sure that whether it will be negative or positive, you can fetch the ASCII chart. So in ASCII, for capital letter A it will be 65, for small letter a it will be 97, which means that small letters are greater than capital letters. So that's the reason why this is greater than h and we get a negative output. So now if you want to ignore case, there is a method called as compared to ignore cases. Alright, so let me just explore that. Yes, can you see this? Ignore cases. Now if I run this, we'll get the output as 0 because now it is ignoring the cases. It is just checking whether this hello is greater or less than this or not, lexicographically ignoring the cases. So it won't check the or won't fetch the values for the larger and the smaller forms of this h because we are ignoring the cases. All right, so I hope it's clear to everyone, and do you have any doubts? Please ask me in the live chat box. All right, so now we know that strings are immutable in Java, correct? Now what if at some moment of time, like at some moment you want a mutable string? Now your question will be why do I need a mutable string? Let it be the way it is, correct? Yes. So now there might be a scenario that you don't want the immutable thing in your code for a particular string because you know that I am supposed to change the values. Why should I create new one each time? Now let me give you an example. So now for example, if you want to append a, if you want this letter a 1000 times in one row, like a, will you type, means will you count and type, count and type, count and type? No. Now you can do the thing that you can do is you will say, all right, I'll run a loop from 1 to 1000. I'll create a string. So let me write the code for this. So you have created a string s is equals to, first you are just having it empty like this. Now you are running a loop int I is equals to 1, and then what you are doing, it is you are running it up till 1000 and I plus plus, correct? And now you are just saying that s is equals to s plus a. Will this work fine? Yes, this will work fine. But now what you are doing, can you imagine behind the scenes what happens? Let me explain that thing as well. So over here, this is your SCP and this is your heap. The empty string, all right, you may, or let's start with the first a. Okay, so this is your first a. Next time you change the string, as we know the strings are immutable, this a is not going to get changed. We are creating a new string, correct, like this. Now for the next time, again this won't get changed, we are changing it to new. The new object is created. So thousands of objects will be created for this particular step or for just a simple thing, correct? So it is not an efficient approach for solving this kind of problem, because what you are doing is you are ending up creating n number of objects and it is time consuming as well, correct? So this makes a string slower when I try to perform append operators, correct? Yes. So at this moment of time, when you know that you want to change it very frequently, you can use Stringbuilder or Stringbuffer. We'll see what is the difference between them, but at that moment of time it will be very useful because of the fast computation, because this SCP comes into action only for strings. For other thing we don't have SCP, so it is just overwriting this stuff, correct? As we have discussed, like for int a is equals to 65, if I make a is equals to 67, what happened at this step? A is pointing to 65. At this step, this 65 gets changed to 67. Am I right? So this is the easy kind of stuff. We are not creating two different variables, but while in string the previous copy of that particular object is still there. Okay, Yes, there is garbage collection as well. We'll see what is garbage collection, but for now we don't have to worry about that. But then to creating a new object is just an additional task that we don't want to do because it is not needed. So now what we'll introduce is string builder. It is quite easy, and string buffer as well. We'll see the difference between them. So they provide us mutable strings, which means if I'm having string sb equals to hello, and if I change it to mellow, what happens? This copy is changed, this is overwritten. So obviously this will be faster than our normal string computations, correct? So let me just introduce the string builder over here, right? Not buffer for now, first builder. sb is equals to, the syntax is quite simple, the way we declare an object, and inside the parenthesis we can have a string. So let me say hello, and now if I try to say system.out.println sb, can you see it works same as strings? All right, we have append methods as well. So if I say sb dot append, and over here if I say space world, now let me run this. Can you see it is getting changed, but not another copy of hello, like not like the strings. Hello is not, it will be not like this. Okay, if you use string builder, what will happen? If you have previous hello, you are changing, you are appending world to it, space world, so it will be appended over here only. So no another object is created, which means this is definitely having a faster computation. So now if you say that, now if you have the for loop int I is equals to 1, I less than equals to 1000, and I plus plus. So now let's say you are having the same thing over here, the empty string over here. If I'm having commenting this, all right, now you can perform the same computation. sb, you don't have to use this, append, and over here like this. Yes, so now this will do the same task easier. But now let me tell you that this functional, this program is 300 times faster than our previous string program, because at that moment of time we had to create a new objects again and again, the 1000 times, correct? And now this is 300 times faster than that, and this is really very significant than that, correct? So this moment, at this moment of time, we know that we need a mutable string. I don't want to create a new object at every time, but every concatenation, so I can use a string builder. All right, and we have some predefined method in string builder as well. We'll see that. So now you are asking that what is mutable string. So first I'll ask you what is immutable string. Immutability in string was like we were checking the SCP, and if it is there, other objects were referring to the same value A, correct? So I cannot change this value for this. If S changes its value, S1's value is getting changed, so I cannot change A's value. So if I try to change or reinitialize S, it will just point to another value double A. Means like if I want to change S is equals to double A now, so it will, double A is created at different place. This A is still there, it is not getting overwritten or modified. All right, so this is the immutability, sorry. While this SB is not like that, because we don't have SCP for string builders and string buffer. SCP is string constant pool, which is available for only strings. So this works like the same variable, means the variable that we previously used like int A or student S, it is same like that. It will be overwriting that stuff. So it is definitely faster than this at the when you perform the append operators as well. And now the predefined method that we get is, let me write it over here, hello. See, we have append method that we have already discussed, and we have index of methods, all the string methods like that, the length method, the substring. Yes, we have not discussed the substring method. We will be discussing that substring method as well. So these are the some common methods that we have already discussed, the trim methods, equals methods and all. And now we have also the reverse method, which reverses a string, which we don't get in the string class. In string class we don't have the reverse method, while in string builder we do have the reverse method. All right, so now the question is, what is the difference between string builder and string buffer? Correct. So there is no such difference like that, but the only difference I can say is string buffer is thread safe. Now again the question is, what is thread safe? No worries, because we are not learning thread or multi-threading over here, so do not worry about what is thread safety, but just keep that in mind. You can note it that string buffer is thread safe and string builder is not thread safe. So when you want the thread safety, you are going to use string buffer, and when you don't want the thread safety or you are working on a single threaded environment, you can use the string builder. But now the question is, which one of them is faster? Now definitely this is providing some safety, which means this has to perform some extra computation, so this is slower than string builder. So I can say that the actual speed of string builder is 2 times faster than string buffers, and they are, both of them are 300 times faster than strings based on the append operators. All right, for the plus operators. Okay, so I hope it is clear to every one of you. Now let me, yes, so the method which we, yes, so let it be like this. I'll just create another string and we'll be learning substring method. Okay, hello world as dot substring. So now over here the first substring method says that returns a string that is substring to this string, begins with the character at the particular or a specified index and extend to the end of the string. All right, so let me write with 3. Now guess the output. See, what is the index? Let me write hello world over here. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Correct, this is the index. So I have given 3, which means it will start from the third index and go up till the end. Correct. So is it the output? Definitely yes, because I have said that you have to start the substring. Substring means a part of a string, but in a consecutive way or contiguous way. So over here this is a part of string, this is a part of string contiguously, this or this is as well a part of string. So if you want only a part of string, a contiguous part of a string, then you can use the substring method. So over here I am saying that you have to return the string, or you have to just trim the string or return the substring of the string from this third index up till the last index. If I am not specifying the end index, which means I want it up till the last index. So that's the reason why we have, it has given us the output as this L2 up till the end, because this L is from the index 3. So now just keep that in mind that the start index is included. All right. So now let me introduce the end index as well. So now if I say 7, can you guess the output? 7, we have 7, R is a 7, correct? So can you see, we would have said that for 3, 7, the output should be L and LOWOR, correct, but it is not LOWOR. R is excluded. So just keep one thing in mind, that the start index is included but the end index is excluded. All right, so yes, so don't make things wrong over here, like don't interpret it as wrong. So if I say again hello world 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So what is the index of 3, means which character is at 3? L. So I have to start my substring from over here, and this is not included, so it will be including 3 to 6. 7 is not included, so 0 up to over here, correct. The R is not included because, as I said, the end index is not included, so that's the reason why we get the output as LOWO. So now let us try a different example with this. So if I say 0 1 2, if I say 9 as the last index and 0 as the first index, what will be the output? You would have already guessed that the output is from HELLOWORL because D is not included, correct. So now if I say 3, so what will be the output from L to this L, correct. So now let me run this. Yes, so L to L. Now if I give 10 over here, we get the D because 10 is not included. Now if I give 11 over here, we get an error, and the error says that string index out of bound exception. So you would have already guessed that it is the maximum index that we can fetch is up till 9, and I am trying to fetch 11 minus 1, that is 10, because 11 is not included. So I am trying to go up to 10th index, but 10th index is not possible. So that's the reason why we get the error string index out of bound exception. So I hope all the string functions are clear till now. What is string builder and buffer, how we can use them in real time, what is the need of them, and what is the difference between string builder and string buffer as well, because string builder is faster than string buffer because string builder is not thread safe and string buffer is thread safe, and both of them are very much fast than normal plus operator or normal basic computation of our strings. So when you want the mutability in strings, you can use the string builder or string buffer based on the thread safety you want, correct. All right, so let me comment this. So till now we have discussed a lot about strings, the functions of strings, the predefined methods, we can say that, in the string class. And let me also check whether do we have the reverse method or not. Let us see whether it is there or not. Can you see we don't have any reverse method because, as I said, it is only present in the string builder or string buffer. So just keep that thing in mind. So you might get questions in the interview. So yes, one important question is check whether a string S is a palindrome or not. So let me make it as madam. So is it a palindrome? Palindrome means if you read the string from either way, like from left to right or right to left, it is the same string. So from, if I read it from left to right, it is MADAM. If I read it from right to left, it is MADAM. So this is a palindrome. If I say money, is it a palindrome? MONEY YENOM? No, it is not a palindrome. So we have to check whether a particular string S is palindrome or not. So one thing that we can do is I can just put this into string builder SB equals to new string builder, and I can put this string over here, correct? Sorry, no need of this. And then I can do sb dot reverse. Now this will reverse a string, and now you will say that let me compare this with this, correct? Yes, definitely this will work fine, but first you need to convert this to string. So you have to use sb dot toString method. This will convert the sb to string because it is not in the form of string. So you cannot see equals method compares two strings, correct? String 1 and string 2. So on both the side there should be string. So if you say s dot equals, so there should be string over here, and this is not string, this is string builder. So you have to convert it to string builder. So you can say sb dot toString. You try this, and if you face any difficulties, I am there to help you all. Alright. And now this will return true if it is a palindrome and false if it is not. And the other way for the same task, now the interviewer will ask you that hey, you don't have to use any predefined classes or functions like this, just do it by your own, correct? So the other way is you create another string, or let me name it as rev. I'll just make it as empty. You can run a loop, and the loop will be I less than s dot length, and just remember it is a function, or I can say a method, so I need to use the parenthesis and I plus plus. And now what you have to do for each iteration, see, is it the correct way? See, now if I do rev is equals to rev plus s dot char at I, will it work fine? No. What will happen? First time rev is empty, I am changing it to empty, plus char at I is m, this m, not this m. Or I can do is I can just make this reverse to add after it. Now what happens? This comes over here. Now it becomes, the rev become m. But now for the next time I am adding this a over here, then I am adding this. So yes, I am going it in a reverse fashion, or you can use the s dot length minus 1 over here and run it up till 0th index. So it's up to you, you can use either way. And we have tried this kind of problems while we were dealing with arrays. Now you practice all this stuff, and if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. All right. Yes, you are asking that why there is not a reverse method predefined in a string class. Yes, it is a valid question, because we have already lot of questions over there as well, correct? There are efficient ways. All right, means if I am reversing a string, which means I am creating a new object of that particular string, correct? Which means, let's say I'm having string s is equals to hello, I want to reverse it, or I just want to check whether it is a palindrome or not. Our question is this, correct? Actually there is not any such reasons, but we can conclude some of them, like I want to check whether it is a palindrome or not. If there was a reverse functions, and there might be different ways of creating a reverse function. First is like s is equals to s plus s dot char at I, and like this, means appending last character with a new variable. So at that moment of time we would have n number of objects for creating a reverse string, correct? And where n is equals to number of characters in our string. So if I want this to be reversed, and if I use a normal for loop, a naive method, so what would have happened? Let me tell it as behind the scenes they are working like 0 then they are working plus O plus L, then O plus L plus L, then O plus L plus L plus E, then O plus L plus L plus E plus H. So now can you see how many objects we would have created? Alright, this is not the efficient approach. So is there any other approach then? So to checking a palindrome, because see over here how many objects we created for hello, the number of characters in hello, correct? So there is no need of creating such objects. I just want to check a palindrome. So you can find your own ways without declaring any new objects. You can check this index with the last index, this index with the second last index, and this with itself, correct? And if all of them are true, then you will return true. So there are efficient way without even declaring a new string. So if you have the reverse function like this, which means you are eventually creating string or n number of objects where n is equals to the number of character in this hello. So there is no need of that, correct? You can, for just simply checking whether it is a palindrome or not, you can just simply run a loop from int I is equals to 0 and I less than, let's say it is s dot length I plus plus, and then you just have to check if s dot char at I is, sorry, it will return a character, it is not returning a string, so we need to use the equal to sign. All right, s dot char at, now which character we want? Length minus 1 minus I. All right, so over here I will write s dot length minus 1 minus I. So it will start comparing, or I can say if it is not equal to, then just break the loop or return false, whichever you choose. Now you know this kind of computation, you know the break statement, you know the return statement, but over here I am not creating any new strings, and this is the most efficient approach that you can use for checking whether a string is palindrome or not. Over here you are not using any space, no extra spaces, and you are just using a single loop. So this might be confusing for now, but if you give it a try, it is a easy question. Just give it a try, and if you don't, or if you find it difficult, then we can again discuss this question. Do not worry about this. So do you have any doubts till now? All right. So one thing that we can learn now is packages. So packages are something in which we wrap our classes or our interface or such files. Over here string.java is a file, correct? It is a program file which can have some lines of instruction. So if you want, like folders in your Windows Explorer or in your finders, what you have folders, and in a particular folders you have some folder specific files, which makes it easier to fetch these files, and which makes the retrieval easy. You can search the file easily if you have folder for strings, if you have folder for arrays, correct? So you can just place your files in string, you can place your files related to arrays folder, correct? And now if I ask you check whether is a string is a palindrome or not, in which folder you are going to search? A string method, correct? So this makes it easier to retrieve files. So now what packages are? Let's say, let me create a package. Yes, so over here if I want to create a package over here, and it is always encouraged to use or to create a package first. There is package, yes, it is over here. So now let me name it as com dot example. We'll see the naming convention, do not worry. And then if I make it a string, see, now if I place these strings into this package, and now let me create another com dot example dot objects. Okay, there might be any typo. So now after 1 year, if I just want to check where the code of the object student class or the objects class, where is it? So will it be easier in this fashion or will it be easier in this fashion? Definitely, if I'm having folders, which means it will be easier if I'm having folders, because it will help us. Okay, it is a object folder, which means the code related to objects will be inside this. So this is the use of packages, and it also makes it visually look good, correct? This kind of bifurcation, like the objects code is inside the object package, the strings code is inside the strings package, correct? So this is a good way of writing a code and declaring your files. All right, and now it is also useful. Now let's say there are predefined packages as well. So java.util package, in which we have n number of classes. All right, so the classes like linked list, array list, the interface like list, we have all this are classes inside the util, and which makes the packages makes it easier to retrieve this file, and we can import this file in our program. So if I want to import the student file from, let it be in another projects or let it be in another directory or in any of the different package, I just want to import that package and I can use the file name after this. So let's say over here in my com dot example dot strings, which class do we have? Strings class. So I can just import strings class like this. So we'll just try this, do not worry. Let me just rename this. I know it won't be much clear for now, but once we just practice a bit about this, it will be very easy, because it is just a understanding stuff. Yes, so now over here this is our string class. I want to import the student2 in my string. What I can do is over here I can have import statement which says that you are importing a package. So what is the package name? Com dot example dot object. This is my package name, and now I want a particular file, that is student2. That's it. Now I can retrieve the code of student2. What is the code of student2? Let's say I want to, means we can retrieve the code of this student2, and we'll see this as well. So do not worry over about this. So yes, right. So now can I retrieve xyz over there here? System.out.println student2 dot, all right, sorry. Yes, so now I just have to create an object of this. Now previously we didn't have, this is not our class, correct? We are getting this class from a different source, and now the question is where the source is. All right, let it be anywhere. I have imported it, so now I can use this source in my code. So now if I say s dot Okay, don't we have any stuff inside this? Yes, no. All right, so now let me run this first and then let me explain this to you. So can you see we get the output as inside no args constructor. We'll see how we can use different packages as well, do not worry about this, but for now I'm just trying to explain you that how we can import some packages. So now our package was, we want to import this class which was present inside this package, so I just use a dot operator after this package and I just define the class name for it. Now I am creating its object, and now after creating this object it is going inside the constructor, and we all know that why it goes while declaring a constructor, and the constructor says that you have to print inside noargs constructor. So can you see how we are connecting this string class with our student class? So with the help of the packages we can do this. Now over here if I just remove this, we won't, are we getting any error? Can you see we get an error? It says student 2 cannot be resolved as a type, because the thing is we don't have anything like this, we don't have any student 2 kind of class over here, because our class name over here is string. So I can create an object of string. So now it gives us some suggestion, create a student 2 class within this, or else import the student 2 class from the objects or the com.examples.objects package. So now we are importing it and now it works fine. So this is how we can use a particular class or particular code from a different package, and package makes us easier. Now another advantage of package is, let's say there are 10 classes over here, okay, and you want to import all of them. Instead of writing different statement for importing, you can just use the asterisk symbol over here. At that moment of time it will import each and every class for this particular class. So now for this string class we have each and every class of this object com.objects package. So now we can access student and student 2 as well. So now with the use of star, you know that star means import all, correct? So I hope it is clear to all of you. Now let's learn the naming convention for this, and later when we proceed, like let's say we are proceeding with collections, we'll see a lot of import statement. At that time as well we'll get a clear understanding that how this can be useful. Okay, but now you know that student 2 is not there. So how can I use it? If I write student 2 over here, we'll get an error, then we need to import it. So the same way, if I'm calling the linked list class, okay, linked list class, so we'll get an error because it is not defined over here. So it will give us a suggestion, you can import it from java.util, so we can import it from there. So now let's see the naming convention. So the naming convention for packages are in a reverse domain form or in a reverse domain way. So let's say your domain is edu.xyz.edu, so you have to name your packages in a reverse domain like edu.xyz. So let's say your company name is com.company, sorry, I'm getting confused, company.com. So this is your company name. So now the packages for all the projects of their company should be like company com.company, like this. So this is a reverse domain, com comes first, then the company name, and then your project name, and then a particular folder name. So let's say the project is XYZ and the folder name is strings. Alright, so this is a way you can just note this thing down. And another thing is, the name of the package is always small letters, so do not try to make it as like the company name is starts with the capital letter C. No, it should be always C. Let it be any acronym or abbreviations, let it be. Alright, so just keep these few things in mind. These are the best practices that you must be knowing. Alright, yes, you know the star syntax, that why do we have star, why do we use import statement. And over here if you are having any class, so let's say string is inside this package com.examples.string. so if you are using id, you don't have to write any such thing, but yes, then too you have to be aware that if it is inside if you are writing it inside any package, you should be writing the package over here, which defines that, all right, this class is inside this package com.example.strings. Okay, so do you have any doubts? You can ask me, and even if you practice and you encounter any issues, you can just reach out to me, or you can just post your notes in the comment section. So I hope it is clear to all of you till now. All right, so in our next session we will be learning about access modifier, and we'll be starting with oops. So access modifier is the stuff that we haven't covered till now, that what is this public, what is private, correct? So we'll see that stuff, and we'll also see a constant variables. Okay, we'll also see constant variables. What are constant variables? Using final keyword. All right, and we'll also see the final variables, the simple final and the static final. These are the two ways we can say that. So these are constants, we can say, and these are instance constant. We'll see what is the difference between them, how we can use them. All right, okay, so this is the, then after this, like the access modifier and the constant stuff, we'll be learning about the oops concept. So I hope it's clear till now, and if you have any issues regarding any of the topics we have discussed till now, you can just ask me. All right, and do practice all the concept, do revise each and every concept that we have discovered till now. So we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, that is 7:30, so see you all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you everyone for joining today's session.